But God not only showed us his power, that's number one. I want us to see also how, number two, God gives his power to us. Look at verses 6 and 7. Therefore, I remind you to rekindle the gift of God that is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and sound judgment. Verse 7 there is actually going to be our focus for the next 2 weeks as well. Next week, I'll be preaching on how God has given us a spirit of love. And the week after that, Micah Slifer will preach on how God has given us a spirit of sound judgment. But this week, we're going to look at how God has given us a spirit of power, a spirit of power. Notice that this is in contrast to having a spirit of fear. We might be fearful of any number of things, right? And oftentimes in life, we're tempted to be afraid of many things. We might be afraid for our future and the direction of our country. We might be fearful for our kids. Hopefully not fearful of our kids, but fearful for our kids, whether they follow Jesus or rebel against God as they go out and do their own thing, go out on their own. Timothy may have been fearful about his ministry in the city of Ephesus. The people of Ephesus were steeped in Greek mythology. In fact, the temple of the Greek goddess Artemis, which was a massive amphitheater that could accommodate 50,000 spectators, was built in Ephesus. This is only a digital reconstruction of it because of what it may have looked like, because the original was destroyed by fire in the 4th century. But this was a place where a mob of Greeks shouted at and threatened Paul as he preached the gospel because of their devotion to false gods. So Ephesus was not a safe place for Christians. So Paul reminded Timothy, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power. When we come to faith in Jesus, we not only receive Jesus, but also his Holy Spirit, so that we have power to do whatever God has called us to do. And we're going to need that power to face all the obstacles of our lives. For example, where do you go when you find out that you have a severe health condition? Well, in addition to going to your doctor for treatment, studies find that if you also go to God with it, trusting that he will care for you, you'll find more happiness and contentment. In fact, this boggles the mind of scientists and doctors. They find that Christians are, even if they don't get well from their treatment, have more contentment even in the midst of their tragedies. Having faith leads to having more joy, more peace, more hope. And this is all because the God of all hope is working powerfully in our lives.